Alright, hello. So what we're gonna go do here is we're gonna add lifelines to our J-class boats. Uh, Creating a version of the J-class ready for blue water cruising. Need some safety equipment, lifelines. Some other stuff, life raft, etc. So, alright, we're gonna download the parts, upload basically, that are already created and saved in the 3D model. Should be somewhere in both models, one of the J's. Alright, let's see. Okay, so they're in multiple meshes, sub-meshes, broken down in smaller files. So around 10,000 vertices, triangles. Alright, so those are the iPads on the stern. Those are the pinkish brownish parts that we see here at the end. Save them for now. Alright, so there's about 21 stations, 2 meters apart. They have a stanchion on the port and starboard side, and we all need to upload those. So the 3D models in total with everything on them clean, optimized. Problem is it's all rounded surfaces, meaning that basically if you don't want to see the facets on a cylinder or on a sphere, you need to have smooth shaders applied, and then still you will see some breakage. So rule of thumb, we decided to go with 32 facets on 360 degrees. So that is basically, if you close up far away, it's more or less looks smooth. There are some instances where we obviously should have gone with 64 or 128 facets. I see that rounding in the teak deck at the end. You can see those straight lines with a little nick in them. That's basically not enough facets to make a smooth curve. So smooth surface, making a surface smooth is basically pretty easy. Smooth shader does that, but if you have a line or draw a circle on some surface, to make that line smooth, you really need to break it up in facets. More facets looks more round, and you can detect that everywhere, steering wheels, etc. So, and every bend, every corner means vertices, right? So 3D model is all made out of vertices that are connected to each other with triangular surfaces, and basically your graphic card paints in those triangular surfaces. So this one has 1600 and about 1000 triangles. Alright, so see there's no materials assigned to them yet, so you see all those purple, green, blue, white, no, not white, red, yellow, orange stanchions pop up every time when we download. So then we're down to 19 and 20. So it's we're uploading the meshes parts as 4 stanchions at a time. So the boat is 50 meters long. Basically, when you're at the back, you don't need the stanchions in the front in a high quality. Don't know exactly how the lower detail level of detail models are gonna work out. So what we're seeing here is everything as the highest level of detail possible. Later on we have Sailaway calculate the 3D model down to lower levels of detail, where normally the stanchions should disappear, like in the lower levels that are like 500 meters and more away from the viewer. At 500 meter, if you don't need the stanchions on the boat, you wouldn't see them anyway. So save that the resources on your graphic card for rendering other stuff. We don't need the stanchions then. So that's basically the objective of having smaller objects. So the graphic card basically skips them, or Sailaway understands that those are not needed when we're 500, 300 meters away. Okay, so we got them all in there. And then we basically can start assigning material to them. So basically it's all stainless steel on this boat. Somebody could decide he doesn't like stainless. You can create a livery and make it all buffed aluminum, powder coated steel, brass with patina, basically corroded brass. That's all possible. So this is basically where it is. We look for the part and then we can assign textures, colors and stuff to it. How smooth it is, if it's glossy, if it reflects light, etc. So we're on to the pad eyes at the stern. Later on we're gonna attach Dynama line to the pad eyes and pull them through the buses on the stanchions. So stanchion has a bus at the top and a bus in the middle where the line is led through. We're gonna cheat, of course. The buses don't have a hole. It's basically a solid cylinder. The line goes through. There won't be a collision. To make the lines go through, we'll have to place invisible line guides at the points where we want the line go through the objects, and that basically should work out. For the lifelines itself, we're just going to use the Sailaway itself. Comes with lines prepared. You just have to connect them through various hardware parts, blocks, cleats, clamps, but also possibly invisible line guides, and you just can pull the lines through, and that works fine. Optionally, we could have created the lines in 3D software and uploaded them just like we did with the stanchions, but I decided what Sailaway already has on board we don't need to replicate, so it's basically gonna keep the footprint, the memory required to run Sailaway smaller. The lines are already in the game. We don't need to upload stuff and store it somewhere. Okay, so we can basically give one part the material, the stainless steel, and then just select the parts and basically copy from, and that's how we work through all the parts that we uploaded and make them all stainless. Alright, so we're going to skip a lot. It's like 44 parts. So 21 stations plus the pad eyes. These are the last stanchions and the pad eyes at the bow. And it's basically repetitive. Find something what already has the material, just copy it and then save it. Up, close up. Good enough. Just save it. And then the pad eyes themselves. So this was one object we uploaded. It has 4 meshes. Those meshes have sub-meshes, and all the meshes have materials assigned. It's all the same, but we have to assign the same material to the parts again in Sailaway. So basically the objects themselves just come with the default or assign a default material, and you then go in delivery and replace it all. Okay, so now we're placing invisible line points, in this case invisible fastener in the iPad, so we need to place those carefully in the middle of the bus. So that's where the line will basically be connected, terminated. I just have to make sure the line, so the one on the starboard side is somehow out of, I think the terminals, the iPads, are not exactly symmetrical along the center line, so there may be like 2 1.5 to 2 centimeters off. Doesn't matter for now, we'll just take it as it is. That actually should have been mirrored, but obviously with the mirroring something either got moved inadvertently or something else happened, but obviously those are not mirrored. So not symmetric along the across the center line. The stanchions should be mirrored on the center line, so let's just see the invisible line point here, put at the top, make sure it's in the dead center. We probably, because these are the first ones and the lines will go down, we will probably have to move it because the corner will have to be at the front end of the bus you see in the top of the stanchion. And now we put it in the middle of the bus, but we'll have to put in the line first so we can see how the line is going through the bus. Here we just can copy the hardware. Goes always across the center line, so basically you mirror it when you copy, and if everything is symmetric, when you copy it will land exactly at the correct spot on the opposite side of the center line. Okay, put it right on top and down, right center. So this one we don't want to visit again, so we need to make sure the center of the line point is exactly in the center of the bus. So if you alright, so if you have if you bought one of the J classes, you will get the cruiser versions of that J class complementary. So you don't need to buy these boats. Or if you want to buy these boats, the same happens. You'll get the version that is configured for racing, complementary to the boat that is configured for cruising. Basically it's the same boat, we only need to add some little parts. That's not too much work, so it just looks a little bit different from the normal boats, what's normal, the boats configured for racing. So the boat configured for cruising, you will just assign them to those users that already have bought the other J's. Alright, so okay, this goes on all the way down to the stern. We need 2 line points for each stanchion on each side, so it's 84 line points to be placed from stern, from the boat to the stern. And we basically always only want to do this once, so take your time, be patient. It's all a matter of patience and tenacity, lots of it. Alright, there are some tricks like this copying and mirroring, like so if you have the stanchions are absolutely straight, going up. So if you place one in the center, in the middle, you can just copy it over, then make a copy back to the other side. So then you probably will, no, you really have two line points then on the bus in the middle. Or you just select it. This is the one on the other side. Save it, copy, go back. So now we have two, and now we just have two of these, and we move that one just up. So now we got that one. We can then save that one at the top. Yeah. Looks good. Save it, copy it. Now we're back on the other side. We need to save it. Yep. Alright. And then we select the bottom one, copy it over, and that one we're gonna move to the next set of stanchions. So move that one down to that stanchion. So it should already be more or less. The stanchion is lower due to the curve in the deck line. So stanchions aren't at the same height. So we have to pull it down a bit, put it back in the center of the bus here. And then we copy it over to the other side. No, okay, well that's, you see how basically we're finished at some point, and then we finally can go and set up the line. So we connect that to the invisible attachment, and then we connect it to the invisible guides. Line points, invisible line points. There we go. And we just can connect it from the invisible fastener to the invisible line point, to the next invisible line point, to the next invisible line point, until we're at the other end, and then we connect it to the fastener on the iPad on the stern. Now if we place them correctly, the line will be exactly in the middle of the bus. Except here at the front, where we'll have to move the line point around until both sides of the line are in the point. And of course the lanyard guides, clamp, leads, we move those backwards so there's no conflict between the lifelines and lanyards going through the leads. Yep, that's it. That's how it looks. Alright, so reefable main, storm jib, and sailing in 30 knots of wind with the lifelines installed, fitted, and ready for safe passages across all oceans. Alright, and see you around. Bye bye.